Chances are, if you're on hormonal birth control, you have anxiety, depression, gut issues. Let me explain why and how we can go about flip reversing it. So as we know, with hormonal birth control, it stops ovulation, stops you producing the egg, and basically what happens when you produce the egg, that should have been a better sound, fuck it, is progesterone is produced, and all the functions of progesterone then start to come into play. So at this point, it's very important to know what progesterone does and the effects it has on your mood and your headspace. So progesterone is typically a calming hormone. Think progesterone, progestation. What is gestation? It's the process of growing a baby. So what happens when you're growing a baby? You're calming, more sleepy, you're nesting. So that's its function, it's to calm you down. It does this by upregulating or increasing a neurotransmitter called GABA. So decreased levels of GABA are linked to irregular sleep patterns. And what happens when someone don't get their sleep? Fucking moody, mate. Low levels are linked to anxiety and depression. So we're seeing the connection here. If you're missing progesterone, you're missing GABA, or your lower levels of GABA, and you're going to get irregular sleep patterns, anxiety, depression, them sort of symptoms. Increased levels of progesterone have also been linked to increased levels of alpha waves, which help with your focus and get into a state of flow, which is also essential for your mental health if we're following the PERMA model of mental health, which is seen in psychology literature. So we can start to see how progesterone and GABA have a major key player in regulating your mood and keeping you on a level, stable, chill as fuck. Leading on from that, birth control, obviously it stops ovulation, stops that progesterone being produced, so you're going to have these symptoms of low GABA potentially. And you think, oh no, birth control, it replicates the hormones that are in my body, I don't need to worry about it. Well, that's not technically correct. Progesterone is your natural production. Progestin is what is in birth control. Yeah, it sounds similar, but it doesn't have the same action. Unfortunately, progestin isn't made from progesterone, and it doesn't actually target the progesterone receptor in your body, so it doesn't have the same action. It targets the androgen receptor as it was originally made by scientists from a testosterone molecule and not a progesterone molecule, which is why you might see on birth control you get acne and oily skin, because it's binding to the androgen receptor. Androgenicity is basically male characteristic, so you get that increased sebum production, acne, oily skin, it's more of a male characteristics. From a base level here, we can see in terms of a neurochemical aspect, your brain, and just basic mechanisms of hormonal birth control, why anxiety and depression might be affecting you, and the root cause could be the birth control. Birth control can also have an effect on your mood via actions on the thyroid and your gut. Slow thyroid is linked to depression, and birth control increases thyroid binding globulin. What does that mean? Basically, it decreases your free thyroid hormone, thereby slowing your thyroid. A decreased T3 or decreased free thyroid hormone reduces gastrointestinal motility, so your ability to shite, which means you've got a decreased clearance of estrogen, because we detoxify our bodies through urine and shitting, poop. So that decreased clearance can also increase thyroid binding globulin, which basically means we have a perpetual cycle that's just not solving itself, and it's getting worse and worse, causing you to go into a deep depression and a further inability to detoxify your body. Similarly, along these lines, birth control creates nutrient deficiencies in zinc, vitamin B1 and vitamin E, all essential for stomach acid production. Stomach acid is your first barrier to immunity, stop you getting sick, because it's neutralising all the pathogens coming in through your body, and it is massive for you being able to digest food. So if you have lower stomach acid due to these nutrient deficiencies caused by birth control, you have an inability to break down your food, it slowly ferments, causing you to get lower belly, bloating, digestive issues, inability to detox, and then again whips back round to your thyroid, don't have enough free thyroid hormone, and more likelihood of depression. Only that, but 90% of your serotonin, we all know serotonin is a good happy hormone, cheese, is produced in your gut. 70% of your immune system is produced in your gut. So it is very important that we have a well-functioning gastrointestinal system, which birth control stops you having. Doesn't allow you to have. So we've got to address a root cause. We want to address that root cause. So what's the first action? It probably is coming off birth control, but we want to have something in place before we come off birth control. We want to be repleting these nutrients, getting your body working a bit better. We want to be supporting detoxification in this case, so you can be looking at supplementation with DIM, glutathione and calcium D-glucarate, which will all help that liver and gut detoxification, which in turn will increase your thyroid hormone, increase your ability to detox estrogen, and ultimately get you sort of feeling better, get your body prepared for coming off that birth control. Birth control for a reason. If it is specifically for birth control, the most advisable thing to do is use the fertility awareness method, which I'll go into on another video, or you can just sort of Google it yourself, which is normally measuring basal body temperature when you get up in the morning. The reason being, if you use fertility awareness method, you have all your natural hormones being produced, you have that progesterone, you have that GABA production, you're less likely to be anxious and depressed, you have none of the negative side effects of birth control, and plus, if you're aware of when you're ovulating, it's only for 7 days that you're actually fertile and able to get pregnant in each month. So you just need to make sure your partner wraps it on them 7 days, or just don't have sex. So if you still want to remain on birth control, not have to worry about it, you might look for changing to the copper IUD, because it is non-hormonal. You still have your natural hormone productions, you still ovulate, you just have that barrier method where essentially sperm doesn't get into your egg, and there's nada to worry about. However, if you want to have some sort of effect on your mood, you can look towards GABA supplementation, such as L-theanine, which is shown to reduce anxiety, same as lemon balm. If you want to specifically target depression or a low mood, omega-3s, 1.8 to 3 grams of EPA to DHA daily have been shown to be as effective as some selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, that are typically prescribed for depression, and can make them work better, so you've got less side effects, etc.